A damaging new report is out today alleging two of the Manhattan jail guards who were supposed to be watching Jeffrey Epstein actually fell asleep on the job and then falsified the records to cover up their mistake. Now, this contradicts statements from the Manhattan facility in which they blame understaffing and a relatively new guard on watch. For more on the investigation into Epstein's death and history of sexual abuse allegations, let's turn to RT's John Huddy. He's been staying on top of the story and is joining us live now from the Miami Bureau with the latest developments. John?
Well, Manila, this week, Attorney General William Barr said that there were serious irregularities at the Metropolitan Correctional Center, also known as the MCC, in Lower Manhattan, where Jeffrey Epstein was jailed. And today, we're learning more about some of those serious irregularities. Epstein's body, as we now know, was found early Saturday morning in his jail cell, apparently with a bedsheet tied around his neck. Well, now we're learning more damaging details about the hours leading up to Epstein's death. And according to the New York Times today, that two staff members who were guarding Epstein's unit, or at least they were supposed to be in the jail, fell asleep and failed to check on him for possibly up to 3 hours. Well, guards were supposed to be checking on Epstein every 30 minutes, but that procedure, we now know, was not being followed. Two of the employees have been placed on administrative leave, and the MCC's warden has been reassigned pending an investigation, this according to the Bureau of Prisons. Another question being raised, why was Epstein taken off suicide watch after apparently trying to harm himself just a couple weeks earlier? Well, prison officials reportedly determined he was no longer a threat to himself and returned him to the 9 South housing unit with another inmate who was later transferred out of the cell. There are many questions surrounding Epstein's death, as we know. There's certainly at this point a lot of speculation and various theories about what may or may not have happened. There are still many things that remain unclear. But one thing that is very clear with the MCC is the extremely tight security there. It has a maximum security, even supermax units, and is known to be one of the most secure jails in the country with high risk and high profile inmates. So Epstein's death represents a major lapse in security there. And as that investigation continues, so does renewed focus on Epstein's circle of powerful and wealthy friends and associates. One of those people under the microscope, once again, is Ghislaine Maxwell, Epstein's friend and one-time partner, who's accused of recruiting the young women and underage girls he allegedly victimized. One of them, Jennifer Arios, has filed a lawsuit against Epstein's estate and Maxwell, along with 3 unnamed staff members who had worked for Epstein in New York. Well, Arios, in an interview with NBC News in July, said she was recruited when she was just 14 years old outside her school in New York City to work for Epstein under the guise that she would be helping as an assistant and answering phones, but that soon turned into her being forced into, she says, sexual servitude for Epstein, and according to Arios, raped by him when she was 15.
Did Jeffrey Epstein rape you?
Yeah, no, he raped me. Forcefully raped me, knew exactly what he was doing, and I don't think cared. What hurts even more so is that if I wasn't afraid to come forward sooner, then maybe he wouldn't have done it to other girls. I feel really...
Well, in her court filing, Arias alleges also that Maxwell and other Epstein staff members, quote, conspired with each other to make possible and otherwise facilitate the sexual abuse and rape. Maxwell's whereabouts at this point are unknown. It's believed she was living in London, or at least somewhere in the UK where she's originally from. But now there are reports she may have basically skipped town and left to essentially disappear and dodge any allegations, lawsuits, or charges against her. While her name has been closely linked with Epstein for years, Maxwell has not been charged with any crimes. Still, the investigations continue. FBI agents this week raided Epstein's Little St. James Island, with some questioning why it took this long for agents to raid the island. Well, there have been some reports that Epstein may have kept scrupulous notes or even diaries about his friends and his association with them, possibly with damning information that could come to light. We've also been told that his island was rigged with numerous surveillance and closed-circuit CCTV cameras to be used not only to secure the island, but possibly even as blackmail against his guests. I'll say this, when we were there, it certainly seemed we were being watched, even when we really couldn't see signs of anyone following us. But they were definitely there, as indicated when, after a couple hours circling the island and even swimming up to one of the private beaches, keep in mind, in the U.S. Virgin Islands, the law is every beach is public, even if it's on a private island like Epstein's. Well, that said, when we got off the boat and started walking up the dock, a groundskeeper immediately came down the gravel hill and met up with us, showing that definitely eyes were upon us. And at that point, we turned around, we said, okay, this is who we are, this is why we're here, Manila. We went back to the boat, and that groundskeeper followed us all the way around the island, and that's when another boat came from the harbor and met up with us as well, taking pictures and then speeding off once we picked the camera up to get shots of that. So, again, a lot of questions about Epstein's death in jail as the investigation and the focus on his friends and associates continues. Manila.
John Huddy, thank you for that report.
Hey YouTube, thanks for checking out our channel. We hope you enjoyed the video. We have tons of content for you just like this. For more of RT America's one-of-a-kind news and analysis, be sure to subscribe and never stop questioning more.